Hello, Mike. For the assignment, I know there's a ton of switching, so it changes a lot, but Eric defending LeBron James, what are the skill set or qualities that Eric has that would make him a guy that you would want on LeBron, especially, being a 6'3" guard against LeBron?
Well, be a little careful, just, LeBron. So what Eric has that we like is strength. Just being able to hold his ground. He's a terrific defender against anybody. So, he's one of our better defenders without a doubt.
You mentioned against anybody. The contrast between Chris Paul last round, Donovan Mitchell last year, and then to LeBron, how unusual is that for a guy to be able to match up with that variety of opponent?
Very unusual. Only your best defenders in the league can do that. He definitely is one of those guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Haley Griffin.
Hey, Coach, how would you describe the lift that Austin Rivers gave you off the bench last night?
It was good. He was in there when we kind of broke it open. When Austin's making shots, definitely helps everything, and he made them last night. Plus, his defense is really good. He's another guy that can, grind it out defensively. So it's great when he's feeling good and playing well. He played well last night.
Ali Khan Bashani.
Hey, Coach. In previous matchups, after you guys traded for Robert against the Lakers, AD was very good at kind of slipping, and they do a great job kind of using him in pick and roll to get him going downhill. Yesterday, didn't seem like they did much of that, and I was wondering, is that part of the defensive game plan to kind of just limit the amount he slips, be physical with him on switches, and kind of deter him from getting easy positioning inside the paint?
Yeah, that's definitely a point of emphasis. That's what they do, and that's what he does well. And he got some great guys that can throw the lob, so we know that. And it's easy to say it, but it's really hard to guard against it. But our guys last night did a great job. We got to continue to do that.
Did you think you guys did a great job of kind of zoning off that weak side, especially for those lobs and things they do on the other side?
No doubt. I know all night our defense is right on point. We can get a little bit better, tighten some things up, which we went over today. Be ready for anything they might throw at us. But, the defense is key last night. It's been a key the whole time in the playoffs so far.
Mark Medina.
Hey, Mike. Mark was
up. Some of the guys were raising you with how you've handled the ups and downs of the season and all the stress of them. Like, so what's next? How have you tried to get the guys to buy in that concept? What's the key to sustaining?
I don't know. It just makes common sense, man. It's just what's gone's gone, and as long as we're pulling in the same direction, just figure out what went wrong and try to get it better the next day. You can't do it anybody yesterday. And just trying to be positive. It's a marathon. It's long, and I've been through enough of these that you're going to have your ups and downs, and can't get too high, can't get too low. And just like yesterday, we won one game, we got to win 3 more. It doesn't change the fact whether you win or lose. The next game, we got to win. So it's just keep it on an even keel.
Cassidy Hubbard.
LeBron, CP, they get praised for being 35 and how they took care of their body. PJ is 35 years old. What have you seen about how he handles his body, especially going up against big guys day in and day out?
Well, certain guys have certain genetic traits, I guess, that allows him to be. I don't think he's. They say he's missed the game. I know 3 years here in Houston, I can't remember him missing the game. Maybe he did somehow, or
2014.
I think he one time missed the game. He said because he got traded, and so he wasn't able to do 82 games because when he traded to the new team, they've already played some more. So he hardly ever, if ever, misses a game. He plays many minutes I want him to play, 38, 40, gets beat up, but he keeps. I don't know if that's started when he had to make the leg off his sheer determination. That's what he does. He just wills himself to play and wills himself to make a difference in the game.
Sam Amick.
Sam, what's up?
What's up, Coach? Did you hear LeBron's comments last night comparing your team to the Rams of yore?
To the what?
The St. Louis Rams, the Isaac Bruce Torrey Holt. So his idea.
You lost me. Sam. I'm not that. I'm not that.
It's pretty basic. Basically, that was the fastest team on turf, and you don't really know how to handle that speed until you're on the field with them. And the idea being that they got caught off guard by your guys' speed. Do you feel like that played a part in the opener, and can you guys replicate that going forward?
Oh, we can replicate what we did yesterday. I don't know if they'll let us replicate it, but that's a nice compliment. I didn't, we didn't play very fast last night, to be honest with you, to be totally honest. Defensively, we did. We were flying around, but offensively, we can up our speed a lot more. And we will need to do that. So, again, take the compliment. Doesn't, it's great, but he'll be coming out. It's like a freight train tomorrow, and we got to make sure we're ready to roll.
Sean Hyken.
Hey, Mike, when you're preparing for a playoff series, I've heard a lot of coaches talk about using the scout team, where you kind of have guys from guys like pretend to kind of be different guys on the other team to kind of prepare for the matchup. Is that something you do, or do you have specific guys that you're having pretend to be LeBron or AD, when you're preparing for this matchup, or how do you?
It's hard to pretend to be those guys or they'd be playing. No, we do that. I think almost every team does that. Try to. That's when you have time to have practices and to really go through stuff. We just, because our series with OKC, we just walked through. So walking through, anybody can pretend to be anybody. So it didn't really work this time, but that's what teams do. That's what coaches do. And sometimes the player plays a lot better when he thinks he's somebody else. And it's amazing. I mean, it's really when we watch it. So why don't you play like that all the time? Act like you're a KD or whoever. And I'm telling you, they just go crazy. They start scoring the ball, and it looks good. So these guys are extremely talented, even if they're on the scout team or whatever you want to call it. They just got to get out of their own way sometimes.
Vanessa Richardson. Vanessa
took off.
We'll go with Adam Spolin.
Mike, when you're setting up the matchups that you want defensively to start a possession, are you ever thinking about how a team might force you into switches and just how to counter that?
We do sometimes. Certain guys, maybe we don't want to be on that particular matchup, so we'll try to tweak it and try to keep somehow to disguise it. But for the most part, I would say 90% of the time, we don't care. I mean, obviously we have preferences, and somebody might guard somebody a little bit better, but I've got complete faith in all our guys. So we can switch across the board, and it's not going to change a whole lot. Our biggest key is not match up on the ball, because everybody can stay with the ball, either force them to drive or take away his three, and that's for most players. So it's what's in behind the defense. It's what's in behind the on-ball defense. And if we got that right, and everybody can do that, then we don't really care who's on the ball.
Royce Young.
Yeah, Mike, obviously I understand there are a lot of possessions in a single game, but you guys have been really good this postseason about getting a stop defensively on the other team's opening possession. Does that do anything
You're digging deep. You're digging deep. I didn't know that. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm going beginning of the game, first possession. But does it do anything just for as good as defense you guys have played this postseason, just getting off to that good defensive stop to start?
No doubt. And, that's one thing we do stress. We stress trying to get 3 stops in a row to start the game. Whether we do or not, sometimes we don't. But, that's a point of emphasis. And just set the tone early, win the first quarter, keep them under 25. All of these things we try to talk and try to work through.
Samana Ali.
Hey, Mike, you guys were 15th in defense in the regular season. Now you guys are first. In last year's postseason, you guys were 17th in the regular season, and you ended up 6th in the postseason. Why do you think you guys are able to turn it on like that once the postseason starts?
Well, I mean, we play harder, which is not a great thing to say, but it's true. We turn up the heat. That's one. Two, greater attention to detail. And this year is a little bit peculiar just because we changed the whole team in the middle of the year, and it took a while to adjust. And we changed philosophy and the team, so we got back to where we were, I think, 3 years ago. That we switched everything, and when our defense was really good in the playoffs against Golden State. So we kind of were wandering in the desert for a couple of years, and then we got back to what we were doing when we got to the conference final. So hopefully it'll work out.
We'll take two more. Ali Khan Bajani.
Coach, on the offense, when you're playing a team that likes to play two bigs on the floor, is it more important for you to run pick and roll or go straight into isolation to attack them?
Tell me one more time. I got a little distracted. I'm sorry.
So whenever you're playing a team like the Lakers who like to play two bigs on the floor, is it more important with a smaller offense like you guys have to run more pick and roll or go straight into isolation?
Good question. We try to mix it up. We think that the most important thing is spacing and just giving room. A lot of times our players don't want pick and rolls. They don't want anybody near them. They have the matchup they want. They just want to attack that matchup and spread everybody out ready to shoot. And that's been the case lately. It can change. But it goes back and forth. We try to keep a good handle on it during the game and we suggest what we should run. We don't, players have got a good idea what they would like. We take their suggestions and what they feel like they can do, and then we ride with it.
Thank you.
Jonathan Fagan.
Mike, were there any things that you either implemented or emphasized more defensively to take advantage of what Robert Covington does, how disruptive he can be?
Not really. No, he's just one of the 5 guys on the floor that has a particular skill set, and not anything we do, he'll play the fast lane. But that's up to Robert. Robert does a good job of, our switching technique or when to switch or when to double or whatever we do. It's the same for everybody. And then when you have certain skills, certain people are going to jump out and do what they do. And he's got a unique ability to be able to block shots and steal the ball, and we take advantage of it.
Thank you.